is, again, my name is Robert Hollis. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch the Periscope. And if you want to connect with me, all you got to do is go to lifemechanic.com. That's lifemechanic.com. I want to thank Bill Ebert. Him and Becca are working really, really strong on my blog. So I'm actually going to be putting these things on there so people can share them forever. So I really want to appreciate them. And for those that want to, Robert Hollis, of course, on Twitter. And then you also can go to facebook.com/lifemechanic and go there. So anyway, I really, really appreciate you getting on this Periscope. The word for today, or the title for today, is momentum. Momentum. How important is it? Or how important is momentum? Now, one of the things I'm going to share with you, I know that some people are going to read into this, and it's going to be controversial, and I want people to be able to sort of say how they feel and what's going on. But momentum is one of those things that is just like, it's amazing. I just got done watching a little bit of Jim Rohn, thanks to Eric Worre. Thank you, Eric. And watched a little bit of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was a mentor of mine. I bought everything that Jim Rohn has. And when someone asked me today, I got a chance to do an interview with a lady named Tina Williams that is coming out in businessforhome.org here in the next few days. And one of the things that was amazing is she said momentum. We were talking about momentum. And one of the things is let me explain a little bit as I go into this. Like Jim Rohn, there's a lot of things that Jim Rohn says. It's just a mystery. A lot of people want to understand certain things. And they go like, well, why does the sun come up? And why does the sun go down? Well, that's just a mystery. And Jim Rohn used to always have this one thing that was excellent where he'd say, if I were you, I wouldn't take that class. If I were you, I wouldn't take that class. So there's always these people out there like, I recently seen one of the new people that are in our company, Bill, and he went out there and immediately said, hey, listen, you know what? I've contacted a bunch of people and, no one's, signed up yet. Am I doing something wrong? And, and it's like, things are just a mystery. They're just a mystery. And you shouldn't take that school. So people would like, well, listen, why won't people watch the videos? And why won't people do this? And why won't people do that? And how do you motivate people? And all of this stuff. And a majority of the stuff, believe it or not, I just think that you shouldn't take that class. And that's not what this is about, but I want to talk about that subject. Carrie today, Bradford, it was funny. I seen her make a post and she said, wow, I spend hours and hours deleting all my junk email and unsubscribing from all the emails. And this another person said, yeah, too. And I went, listen, I used to do that years ago. Now I just ignore them. Now I just try to find, and it's easy to find the emails that I want. And I put them in different folders and I VIP them and whatever. But I'm not going to take time trying to delete all my junk mail. So I know my computer stopped counting them at over 100,000 unread emails. Now, I just don't care. You know what I mean? So you want to focus on things that matter instead of focusing on things that don't matter. Now, let's get back to the subject here, which is momentum. Now, first of all, I want to explain what momentum is, in my opinion, and then also how it's affected my life. And then I want to share with it on how you can have it happen in your life. And thank you again so much for the hearts. I really, really appreciate them. So one of the things is think about this. Now, momentum is where I see it happen the most is, of course, I love sports. I don't get a chance to watch a lot of sports yet because I love helping people like you and doing Periscopes, and doing training. And that's what my passion and love is now. And momentum, you could be watching any kind of sporting event. And all of a sudden, they say, wow, momentum shifted. Momentum shifted. So in sports, it could be a steal. It could be a dunk in basketball. It could be a steal in soccer. It could be an interception in football. It could be getting a touchdown. But if you've ever watched any sports out there at all, there's this constant word used, the momentum, in a tennis match, in anything. So what ends up happening is, I say it is, this is my opinion, is what happens is your belief changes. So your belief in what you're doing changes, okay? So now, example, all of a sudden a team's down. They might be playing at their home stadium or their home coliseum or whatever. And then all of a sudden what happens is they're down. So as they're down and the other team's scoring and the other team's doing all this, the energy of the entire group starts getting lower and lower. They're not as loud. They're getting a little down. They're getting a little negative. They're getting a little everything, So as you guys see, when it starts going down, it's like everybody gets the same way. And, they score again. The other team scores again against the home team. And the energy keeps going down and it keeps going down. Then what happens is all of a sudden, let's say a play happens where the other team sort of hits the other team and they drop the ball or they steal the ball and they go down and dunk the basketball or they run it back for a touchdown. And then everyone's spirits go up a little bit. Everyone's excitement just goes up a little bit. And as soon as it does, then guess what? The hearts are going crazy, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like the team's attitude goes up. And as the team's attitude goes up, the audience goes up. And all of a sudden, you can hear them, the announcers going, man, that could be a momentum shift. And then all of a sudden, it's like magic happens. Magic happens or miracles happen, depending on your belief. And then all of a sudden, it's like wham, 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 wham. Sometimes I cruising through the channels, and someone was saying, wow, did you see this one sports team? And they scored two touchdowns in 9 seconds. You know what I mean? So they scored a touchdown. As soon as they scored a touchdown, then all of a sudden, guess what? The other team comes on. As soon as they started marching the ball, fumbled, picked up, touchdown. So we have seen some incredible comebacks when people have been down. And I want you to understand that in your life, you get ups and downs. We're on a, life roller coaster, and it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down. And what you need is a momentum shift. You know what I mean? You need to change the momentum, not only for you, but you need to change momentum to be able to attract people. You need to change your enthusiasm and your excitement. And I tell people all the time, on just one side note on momentum, is think about this. People will not wear shirts, paint their faces different colors. They'll wear jerseys and they'll stand out in cold weather or super hot weather or unbelievable. And guess what? They're all screaming for their team. Let's go, let's go, let's go. They're all cheering and they're all screaming and they're all yelling and they're all doing this stuff. I wish that each and every one of you would figure out how to do that for you. I wish you would figure out how to do that for you and your team. I wish the people that loved and surrounded you and your family, would do that for you. So, we'll do some of the craziest things for sports teams, but we won't do it for us. So you got to learn and try to figure out how to create momentum for you. Now, it's really honestly just a state of mind. But now I want to talk about the thing that, momentum that's probably a little bit controversial. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about my 28 years of in this profession of marketing. Now, in my 28 years, it's amazing how I've still had a roller coaster. I remember one time my mentor said in front of the room is if you got up and downs in your life, then all you need to do is get involved as an entrepreneur, and that just makes the ups and downs bigger. See, if you're not an entrepreneur and you're not involved in an affiliate company, you're not marketing online, you're not a part of an MLM company, if you're not, your life's still going up and downs. You're still having winters, as Jim Rohn would say. You're still having falls. You're still having springs. You're still having, summertime. And then we get involved in network marketing, and we want to blame network marketing for our ups and downs. We want to blame, our ups and downs in affiliate marketing, our online marketing. We want to blame what we're doing that we're currently doing for our ups and downs. Isn't that amazing? See, if you get into a different relationship, all of a sudden it's like, wow, you get to blame them. Or maybe now you got a child in the family. Now the up and downs in life is happening because of the child. You know what I mean? No, the up and downs happen all the time. The up and downs happen all the time. The roller coaster is always going on. Now, if you add other things like a business to it or personal development, and now you're learning how to be the person that you want to attract. You're learning to be a person that can handle their emotions and state of mind. Now, guess what? It's like it just makes the roller coaster seem a little crazier. You know, I had to learn how to handle rejection. I had to learn how to have people disappoint me. I had to learn how to be able to not let someone steal my momentum. Okay? So if I'm all excited and everything's going great, there's people that are coming at you that are trying to steal your momentum. For some of you that have always dealt with distractions, you got ADD, so you're always dealing with distractions. What you're doing is you never get into momentum. You never get into momentum because you're always distracted. You're constantly never ever get into momentum. So when some of you are watching this video, I want you to ask yourself, have you ever been in momentum? Have you ever been in a period or state in your life where everything just seems to be serendipity? Everything seems to be going. It's simple. It's easy. It seems, you know, I just think it's the most awesome places in life is when things are just going. It seems like it's effortless and things are just rolling, man. Everything's happening. Good day. Everything's great. Now, people mess it up sometimes with the state of mind because they go, wow, you know what? Things are just going so awesome in my life and so great in my life. Something's bound to happen. Or they turn around and they say, you know what? Oh, man, things happen in threes. You know, so it's not that I just went through an awful thing already, but now I got another two coming. You know, that's a whole different video. You got to watch what you think, and, you know, to become a better person. You know what I mean? You got to get better. You know, for things to change, you got to change. And so now let's go back to momentum in my personal life. Now, I'm working on personal development. I'm working on skills. I'm working on everything that I got. And everything seems to be working serendipitously. Everything seems to be growing. My uplines checks are going up. Listen closely. My upline checks are going up. The people around me checks are going up. My checks are going up. It's like everything is serendipitous. Everything is going great. Everything seems to be working fine. Can something, and here's a question, and then I'm going to answer it, can something change the momentum of you and your group and you and your company? Yes. And see, recently, let me give you an example, and it's a sad example. But if you know anything about marketing right now, all of a sudden the FTC attacked Vima. Now, I don't need to get into the argument if Vima's right or is the whole profession of marketing in trouble, is the FTC bad. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just asking you a simple question. Did the FTC's investigation and the cease and desist of them doing business, do you think that changed their momentum? It stopped their momentum. It just stopped their momentum. You know what I mean? So here's a company, and I know BK Briaco, and I know some of the top leaders in that company, and guess what? Overnight, you know, $200 million. They've done $200 million 2 years in a row. And all of a sudden, bam, momentum stopped. What would be another momentum stopper? Let's not talk about marketing. But if all of a sudden you're in a situation, you're an athlete, and all of a sudden your star quarterback breaks his leg, momentum stopper. So I want to share with you guys my history, right? So I get my first network marketing company. I'm all excited. That's 28 years ago. I think I'm 27, 26 years old. And I'm going out there and I'm cranking and I got it down and everything is working great. And wow, it's like momentum. It was like serendipity. Everything was just growing. Everything was just getting better and better and better and better and better. And then all of a sudden the owners of the company, and I don't mind saying the name, NSA, Today is called Juice Plus. And then all of a sudden they decided to go, well, we're not going to just market water and air filtration. Now we're going to market nutrition. We're going to change the compensation plan. We're also going to, this was about 1990. And we're going to come out with children's educational programs. A lot of residual on those, by the way. And what it did is it changed, and people don't like change, do they? They just don't like change. So they started changing the compensation plan. They started changing the product. They started changing the direction of the company. And what do you think happened? Confused people do nothing. It halted. Everything just went, arch. Everything just halted. Well, now if everything halts, guess what happens? Now the volume starts going down. As the volume starts going down, it seems like the owners then get really desperate. Now they're changing this. Now they're changing this. Now they come out with this promotion, this promotion. They do a fire sale. They do all this stuff to try regain momentum. No, how they lost momentum is they lost the belief. Listen to me. They lost the beliefs of the people that got them to where they are. They forgot where they came from. See, all of a sudden they're making millions, so then they can just do anything. Right? And so all of a sudden the company started going down, going down. My mentor made a decision to start his own company. And that didn't work very well. You know what I mean? The FTC ended up taking his company away. So now let me ask you a question. I went from, from NSA to then turn around and get into a company called Equinox. Why? Because my company, the guy that was my upline decided to do it. So he made a decision, a network marketer, an independent network marketer from a company decided to start his own. And guess what? He did a lot of things wrong. And so all of a sudden, my group's going worse. It's getting worse. It's getting harder for them to make money. It's the momentum's going down. What happens when momentum goes down? My checks started going down. Then people that invested a lot of money are mad now because they got in, they invested money, and now they're not making any money. So they start going to the attorney generals. You know what I mean? So Bill's like, hey, I know what you're talking about. And so all of a sudden you got these people that are all of a sudden mad. So the people that believe that they could make money now are realizing that they're not in momentum. They start going to the attorney generals, and the next thing you know, you don't have a company. So again, did someone make a decision to change momentum of the company? For those of you that are not in football, I'm going to keep going back and forth, right? For those of you that are not know about football, but last year in the Super Bowl, and all I know is, guess what? It seemed like, guess what's going to happen? Seattle Seahawks marching down to the end zone. They're going to win. It's going to be another Super Bowl win. One pass, intercepted, momentum change, Super Bowl done, they lost. And I'm sorry I'm laughing for some of the Seattle Seahawks fans. They're going like, that isn't funny. And then for the Patriots fan, they go, yeah. Why? Because the Patriots fans probably didn't give up hope. I know the guy that caught the interception didn't give up hope. And man, was his team excited, you know what I mean, when they won. Of course they were. So the Nether Point I want to go is, okay, here's my career, right? So I decided this time to take some time off. Now, even though I've been involved in network marketing this entire time, I did take segments of the time off. Why? Because I dedicated almost 7 years of building a large, successful organization, and in a blink of an eye, it was destroyed. Totally destroyed. I got to build all over again. And it's like, wow, I don't know if I got it in me. I don't know if I got it in me. And it was funny because Tina Williams, I hope she sees this Periscope because I had a great interview with her. All of a sudden, she said to me, well, how do you get it back? How do you get it back? You just built this large organization. Now it's totally destroyed. How do you get it back? And I told her what I did is I went back and remembered. Listen closely. I went back and remembered the highlights of my career. I went back and remembered the highlights of my life. When it was serendipity, when it was in momentum. I went back and I went, you know what? It's happened to me before. It's happening to other people. It's got to happen to me. So I got to get myself in a position to be able to be in that momentum again. I got to find a way to find that momentum. Okay, are you guys following me? So what I did is I decided just to take a few years off. Then my son, Robert Hollis Jr., I think it was around 2005, 2006. He can say on here, I don't remember when it was. And then he reached out to me and he said, listen, Dad, you always promised that you would teach me how to be a professional marketer. And I went, oh yeah. And he goes, great. So here I am, watch. Robert Hollis, professional network marketer, made millions in the industry. So I go out and start seeking for a team to be with. See, I'm a free agent. So I went out and I interviewed with companies and interviewed with companies and interviewed with uplines. See, I'm going to pick a company where not only is it in momentum, but the person that I'm going to be under is in momentum. Wow, what a concept. See, this will be very controversial for people because some of people just stay into a company too long, too long, too long, too long, too long. And I'm getting to that part of my story. This is not about your momentum. This is how it's affected me. So I picked a company. It was called Tahitian Noni International, now known as Mirinda. Made an exotic fruit drink. Now, guess what? A lot of my buddies had left and gone from ACN to over to Tahitian Noni. And all of a sudden, I'm like out there going, okay, so, you know, Robert Dean Jr., Fred Herzog, these are all people that are making $800,000, $1 million a year and selling an exotic fruit drink. So what I did is I joined that company with my son. Man, when I make a commitment, you ask my son, I make a commitment. So I moved from Montana, got a little cheap apartment as close as I could to the office of Tahitian Noni. And it was wide open in momentum from everything I could see. From everything that I could see, it was in wide open momentum. And so all of a sudden, I didn't know this. See, there's, ignorance on fire. And all of a sudden, I didn't know that Tahitian Noni just cut all the leaders' pay. They took all their percentage away from all the country's growth, their international expansion. They cut the checks. Then that dropped the morale of Tahitian Noni. Then what they did is they decided to launch 70 new products. After they launched 70 new products, the momentum dropped again. And then after they did that, they changed the comp plan again. And all the leaders started scattering. I mean, they started scattering like crazy. And my son is watching me. I'm teaching my son, Robert Hollis Jr., how to do this business. And I'm not a quitter. I stayed in that company for over 2.5 years. And meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after training after training after training after training, developed a DVD, put the system together, and I worked hard, really super hard, and so did my son. Could not create momentum and duplication. Why? Because the owners of the company had made decisions to totally destroy the momentum that I seen or I thought was there. So now I think I don't know what I'm doing. My son's looking at me going, Dad, I thought, you knew what you're doing. Of course, he never said that. But, he could see that things weren't going right. I went back, prayed, and someone sent me a bunch of emails. Have you seen The Secret? And I watched The Secret. I got the book, The Science of Getting Rich. I started changing my mind, my mindset. And then all of a sudden, I asked for a sign. And as soon as I got the sign, I got a letter from the company terminating me. They said that I was doing cross-recruiting, and I wasn't. And normally what people right away would do going up and down on this roller coaster, right away people would go, wow, you know what? That's wrong. I'm going to, right away, Fred Herzog and Bill Kirtley, all these people are going to fly to corporate headquarters in Utah to come to my defense because they knew it was wrong. They knew it was flat out wrong. And I went, hang on a second. It's like, if I was looking for a sign to go someplace else or be a free agent and get traded to another team, this would be the time. So me and my son, believe it or not, and thank you very much for the hearts. So all of a sudden, me and my son go to Fresno. I'm doing a training in Fresno, California for my whole entire group for Tahitian Noni, and I'm not in the company anymore. So I got terminated, but I still had some commitments that I wanted to fulfill, right? So then I go there and I go, wow, Paul Henderson, a person that I had from ACN, he's no longer living with us. So, Paul, hello, thank you. So I go and I sit down with Paul and he's doing a travel company. It's called Pro Travel Network. And I believe that this was right around 2008 maybe. And I apologize. And then all of a sudden, I go there and he says, listen, Robert, get involved with me. Let's make this work. I made $50,000 in my first 50 days. All of a sudden, it just started growing, and it was growing by leaps and bounds. The company went from like a couple of $100,000 to all of a sudden $10 million. Momentum. Everything's flying. Everything's great. Serendipity. My family loved the company because we were going on like vacations. Like every 6 weeks, we were going on another vacation to the Dominican Republic, to the Caribbean, to the, all over the place. It was just amazing. Going on cruises. Everything serendipitous again. Woo! Back up on the top of the roller coaster. Now all of a sudden starting to go down. Now I'm bopping back and forth between this profession and the rest of the world because you guys know what I'm talking about. See, the whole goal is, can you create momentum? I couldn't. I tried. And so if you're a good actor, you're a great actress, and you get in a bad film, it ends up being a raspberry. See, you yourself can't pull out all of the stuff that's around you. If the producer, the script, the director, if all the stuff is awful, then you're just in an awful movie. Here's another one. We know professional athletes. One comes to mind is Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant's doing his best, winning MVP, winning all kinds of total points awards. And then all of a sudden, Shaq comes to the team. And all of a sudden, they win championship, world championship. Shaq leaves. A little bit of slump. Now you're going down through the valleys again. You know what I mean? And guess what? He had to totally rebuild it. They had to get new players. They had, bring in new coaches. They got to do everything to try to bring this back. See, a person that might have some skills is like Phil Jackson, which, by the way, he came from Williston, North Dakota, just like me. So now all of a sudden you got Phil Jackson, and he's like, okay, he's with the Bulls. They win a bunch of championships. Then he goes over, and he might know how to create some momentum with the Lakers, right? And so all of a sudden, it's like, all of a sudden, Kobe Bryant learns to be a team player. They get some momentum, and they win a couple of world championships. Now, he can be the best player on the planet, but he can't resurrect that team right now. And it seems like the harder he tries, the less he does, and the more harder he tries, the more he gets hurt. And some of you might be going, yeah, he's old. No, I believe that it's just hard to create momentum instead of getting involved momentum. So let me finish my story because this is awesome. So now all of a sudden, Paul Henderson, the owner of Pro Travel Network, he's making decisions to slow down the company. And all of us are like, what are you doing? oh, I don't want to expand here, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to go here. And all of a sudden, he lost the belief of all of his leaders. When he lost the belief of all of his leaders, we all stopped producing. When we all didn't feel like we meant anything to the company anymore, because now he's a multi-millionaire, promised us all stock in the company, then we go out and do what we said we were going to do, and then he forgot to give us stock. Wow. You know, you were willing to give us stock when the company was worth 200,000. Now it's worth 10 million, and you don't want to give stock. So now all the leaders go, well, listen, you lied to us. And I said this to Tina Williams last night, and I got this line from Lisa Grossman. I love Lisa Grossman. Shout out to Lisa Grossman. She's awesome. And she said, every one of us every day is either a prophet or a liar. We're either a prophet or a liar. And here's the difference. If the owners of the company do what they say they're going to do, then we look like prophets. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They told us where they're going to open up this company. They said they were going to pay us this amount of money. They said they were going to go public. They said that they were going to give away stock. See, that's what's happened to me in ACN. See, I was the #1 RVP in ACN in year 2000 because they said they were going to give away profit sharing. They said they were going to give away stock. They said they were going to, deregulate gas and electricity. I went out there and acquired millions of customers. And none of them got hooked up, none of them saved any money, and none of my reps got paid on them. So I had to leave. Did the decision of them not giving away stock when they said so, was them saying they're going to give away profit sharing and they didn't? And was it them saying they were going to save customers on their gas and electricity and didn't? Does that make me a prophet now or a liar? It makes me a liar. So that's why I walked away in 2001 at the top of my game. Again. See, so people are like, why would you go from company to company to company? Because the owners of the company are sometimes outside influences. Change what you're going to do. I seen one guy on here, Bill, that said, hey, I was with Equinox. When they shut the company down, you're not. You see what I mean? And a lot of people go out there and get involved in companies, and they do it with their heart, and they believe that it's going to work, and they share it with all their friends and family, and they share it with a bunch of people. Then the owners mess it up. The owners mess it up, and they don't follow regulatory laws, and they don't do things right, or they turn a blind eye. They turn a blind eye to people doing the business wrong. And because of volume and because of production, it gets shut down. What would be another reason, that momentum? Ego. See, all of a sudden the people at the top of the company, they won't allow anyone to tell them how to change the direction of the company. Well, if you're a leader of the company and you worked hard and now helped their company go from nothing to millions of dollars, and now they're a multimillionaire and they don't want to listen to you anymore. They go, well, I'm worth more than you, and I'm the owner of the company, so I'm not going to listen to you. And all the owners go, hey, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I can work for any company. So from now on, when you guys hear people that are company jumpers, it might be them, or it might be their situation. I'd get the whole story. Because I try to be as loyal as I can, as long as I can, until the company doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Does that make sense? As soon as the company starts making me, instead of a prophet, a liar, then I got to make a different decision, right? So then I go from there to momentum. Now, momentum is another thing called trends. Sometimes you can get involved. If you look at my whole career, guess what? I was involved in water filtration when there wasn't bottled water. Wham! Everything's taken off. Then all of a sudden, bingo. All of a sudden, bottled water's everywhere. Water filtration's everywhere. Do you know that company no longer does water filtration? Wow, what a concept. When you can get water filtration in a pitcher, you know what I mean? So you got to change. Kodak. Have you heard of Kodak? Yeah, they used to own Kodak Theater. And that's where the Grammys were. And it used to be called Kodak Theater, the Grammys, right? What a great name. But they didn't change. All of a sudden, digital came out, and people are doing digital with their phones and having digital, cameras. And everybody said, you know what? That ain't going to fly. It's just a trend. It's stupid. Well, now guess what? There isn't any Kodak theater. They had to give it up because they couldn't afford it anymore. They couldn't put their name on there anymore. How about Blockbuster? You know what I mean? People, streaming videos online. Netflix will never catch us. Whoops. So you got to watch trends, and trends also are coordinated with momentum. Then I get involved in a company, make millions of dollars by selling long distance. I'm selling long distance. AT&T, MCI, and Sprint, 25 cents a minute. I'm now selling it for 19 cents a minute. I can guarantee everyone savings. We're all making money. Yay! Everything's great. All of a sudden, long distance goes from 19 cents a minute to 15 cents a minute to 10 cents a minute to 5 cents a minute to free with cereal. Hey, you can try to market long distance now. For those of you that don't think that momentum and trends affect you, I'd love to see you build a network marketing company in long distance right now. It's hard to market something when it doesn't exist. So then we were, trying to rebuild the market with pagers and trying to rebuild it with cell phone service and all kinds of stuff. So, gas and electricity, some companies are still trying to figure out how to take customers away from the government. You know what I mean? That's all I'll say about that. Some people still think that they can go out and take money away from multi-billion-dollar companies and they won't find a way to screw up their momentum. Like overnight, you're making millions of dollars and then guess what? You're not anymore. Pretty interesting, okay? So now let's go to currently. Now all of a sudden, I get involved in trends, then I get involved in the, the juices, exotic fruit drinks. Man, Tahitian Noni, they got like $10 million. They made $1 billion in 10 years. One of the fastest companies to ever do it. And then everyone's got an exotic fruit drink, including Walmart and Costco. Now, if you're not a salesperson and you're trying to tell your family and friends that the reason that your drink with shipping and freight, costs $70 or $60, but they can get it for $12 at Costco, you're in trouble, right? So trends go up and down. So does momentum go up and down. I hope I'm not losing anybody here because people don't know that I've been in 16 companies. Why am I involved in 16 companies? I used to market the business with payphones and VHS tapes. Then someone got smart and went from VHS to a CD and then a DVD and then a Blu-ray. And now I can put my presentations online on YouTube. You know what I mean? I like to go along with the trends instead of fighting the trend. Figure out the trend that's moving. I'm doing this on Periscope. If you would have told me a year ago, 1 year ago, listen, Robert, you're going to be able to pull out your phone and live stream to 1,000, 2,000 people. No. Here I am. Now, there's people out there right now that goes, I would never use Periscope. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to go out there and be a cutting edge and always in front of trends, and then everyone's going to turn around. I posted just recently. First, everyone laughs at me, and then they're copying me. I was texting people and sending them a link with a video on YouTube back in year 2000. It's state of the art now? Are you kidding me? I was selling websites in 2002. I was selling websites in 2002. Just a little ahead of the game, not trying to brag, just, hey, if technology's going there, why not get involved in it? So then someone turned around and told me, hey, guess what? Healthy coffee. Wow, healthy coffee. What a concept. So in end of 2008, beginning of 2009, I see Lori here. Yee! I got involved in a company called Gano Excel. Now, here's one thing that I'm going to move the script a little bit. See, I got involved in a company called Gano Excel, and a lot of people had just left that company. Bernie Chua was the CEO. He started a small company called Ograno Gold. Shane Moran, a lot of the leaders that were in that company left and started their own network marketing company. Now, when I stepped in, people went, God will excel. This company's old. It's old. It's been around. No one's ever doing anything. No one's making any money over there. All the leaders left and went to another company. And because I understand this profession, I turned around and said, listen, have you heard of Drew Brees? And they go, Drew Brees. No. He's a quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Happened right after Katrina. Yeah. Well, everyone was hopeful and everyone went together. So Drew Brees went to a team that was doing nothing. And he was able to create momentum because of the right circumstances. He not only won the Super Bowl, but he also became the MVP. So sometimes you can step into a company that's humble and says, listen, just tell us what to do. And again, I was able to take that company from $200,000 a year, did it with a lot of help of people that will watch this video. You don't build a team by yourself. You don't win championships by yourself. But it was serendipitous. There was times in God Will Excel and Lorianne and also my son and the other people that were with me in that company. There was a time in that company, man, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, it was like growing by leaps and bounds. I had 500 people coming in my group a day. 15,000 people coming in my group a month. That is duplication. That is momentum. And it really started cranking. It was awesome. Everything was going great. Everything was great. It was serendipity. Yay! We're on the top of the roller coaster again. Yay! And then all of a sudden, the owner, or the person that was brought in as CEO, all of a sudden decided that he was going to do the same thing as Bernie Chua did, that started Organo Gold, and started his own company called Ghana Life. And as soon as he did it, guess what? Here's the funny thing. He said the comp plan was better. He said the product was better. It was better quality. Everything was better. And guess what? It ended up not being. So checks were messed up, and they were changing the comp plan, and they were changing the products. And all of a sudden, South America's different from North America. All of a sudden, my checks go from 6 figures. You know what I mean? A month doing nothing to dropping like a rock. So my thought is here's Robert Hollis, also my son Robert Hollis Jr. We're professionals. We know what we're doing. So I did exactly what I did in 2009. I took everything, and just like I did in Tahitianoni, and I moved to the headquarters. I did meetings every day. I did trainings every day. I did everything that I knew how to do to create momentum in that company. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Now, that either could be, like a movie star going into a movie with a bad script. It also could be an incredible basketball player or football player that goes with the team. Isn't it funny? They always take the number 1 drafts and make them play for teams that are not doing very well. I think that's sort of crazy, but it's fair until they become a free agent. And all of a sudden, I just watch the company, and it just keeps going down, and it just keeps going down, and it just keeps going down, and it just keeps going down. And you're like working harder like Kobe Bryant, and the harder you work, and now it's like, well, screw the rest of the team. I'm going to try to score every point. I'm not going to throw the ball to anybody. And it doesn't make a difference. And you sort of go, why? I don't know why. Now we're all the way back to the first part of my Periscope, where sometimes it's just a mystery. Did I want the company to keep going down? Of course I didn't. Did I stay in a little too long? Yes, I did. So my loyalty and how hard I worked and the people, I always get these people, they go, but I've already brought people into the company and I don't know what to do. I want to stay here forever. Well, how big is your check? Well, it keeps going down and it's not going up. Well, how about your people's checks? No, they're not going up. They're staying the same. Well, what about your upline? I don't know. My upline left and their check's going down. So I'm just going to hang in here. I'm just going to hope the momentum comes back. Oh, please. So I stayed in too long. Too long. And then all of a sudden, while I'm doing this, I'm trying to create momentum in my own affiliate network marketing company, or hyper company. I call it a hyper affiliate company. And it's called Unlimited Profits. And so changed the compensation plan January of this year, and we're trying to build momentum. We're trying to build momentum. We're trying to build momentum. And it just it's doing well. It's in profit. My sons are making money, just not kicking into momentum. And I'm like, wow, I'm 53 years old. I need to figure this thing out. Maybe I'll never figure it out. So all of a sudden, get in that prayer mode again, look for some signs, and have a friend that I built for over the last 5 years named Brian McMullen give me a call. And he goes, hey, you got to check out this company called Modere. And I'm like, do I really want to go to work again? Do I really want to build a group again? This is a lot of effort. This is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of hard things, you know. I don't know if I want to do this again. And so I go down and I meet the people, and I meet Justin Siri and Bob Feeney and Tim Howden and Justin Prince. They seem pretty jacked up. And then I look at the social marketing side, social retail, a new concept. I hear the numbers, and I'm like, I don't want to get excited. I don't want to get excited. And I get excited. And so think about this. From the privacy of my home, I decide at the beginning of this month, to just give some feelers out. Talk to my son, Robert Hollis Jr., talk to Matthew, talk to my wife, talk to people and say, hey, listen, let me see what happens. Wham! 104 people come into the company in 22 days. 31,000 in volume. Melody Riva's getting checks. Mary Ellen's getting checks. You know, Doug Harkins is hitting sell. You know, all these numbers. My son's check. First week's check, $1,500. I've already made over $3,500. Serendipity, momentum, here it goes. And that was my post today. My post was, wow. And I said this to Tina Williams in closing in that interview. Do you guys realize if I could create momentum, if Robert Hollis, because some people are going to tell you, no, you're the one that creates momentum. You're the one that creates momentum. Tell Kobe Bryant that. Tell a movie actress that. Tell a singer that just came out with a song and they're a one-hit wonder. Wah! All of a sudden, top of the charts, doing tours, everything, and now they're on the what? VH1. Where are they now? So they had momentum once in their life and lost it. Do you think they give up? Some of them do. Some of them get depressed, never come back. Some of them recreate it. How about childhood? Child movie stars. Some of them, hey, I'm rocking the world. And some of them never pull it off again. Some people keep reinventing themselves. Where did the word come from? You know, wow, a comeback. Have you seen this guy's comeback? You know, all of a sudden it's like, wow, this guy was nothing. And then now he's come back. You know, so that's pretty amazing. Don't you agree? So, okay, here we go. So that's pretty amazing. So, you know, one of the things I want to do in closing out here is just understand that, you know, you got to look around, see if your team, see if the company, see if all the people, see whether or not that is really in momentum. You got to create momentum, but you also got to be with momentum. And in times of my life when things were fun and things were great and everything was going great is because I caught teams and people in momentum. So, hey, I've been in 16 companies. I'm not a company jumper. But guess what? I've got in at the wrong times. Have you ever heard that it's better to be at the right place at the right time instead of being intelligent? So I've been in places where I stayed in too long. I got into companies and thought I could create momentum and couldn't. I got involved in companies, created momentum, and then had things out of my control. Owners, egos, trends, totally destroy my group. And then I've been in places where I caught momentum. and being involved in a company. So if you get those people out there that are saying, well, you know, you got to just stay in here forever. You know what I mean? I know that no one else's checks are going up and the company's volume's going down, and just stay in forever. That's not what they say about companies that shut down. Because when they shut down, guess what? People move. Why? Because they have to. You know what I mean? So I'd rather be in the right place at the right time instead of being intelligent. You know what I mean? There's people out there right now that are multi-millionaires. There's people out there that are best-selling authors. There's people out there right now that are incredible, incredible, like Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? Someone sees his video on YouTube and sends it to Usher. Come on. You know what I mean? It's like there's people that just have serendipity happen in their life because of the right place at the right time. And I want you to just put this in consideration, are you at the right place at the right time? Just put it out there for a thought. I know some people are going to go, wow, you know, Robert's trying to change the world. No, I'm not. I'm just willing to admit, live on video, that my careers have gone from top of the roller coaster to down to nothing, losing everything 3 times because of momentum. And when I look around and I see other owners, you know, Donald Trump, do you realize that Donald Trump at one time was $900 million in debt? $900 million in debt. Everyone said he was going to lose everything. And now he's the head presidential candidate? Yeah, yo-yos. So if you're down in the valley, know that it's going to become summer and spring again. Look how to hang around a group of people that are momentum. You become who you hang around. So just hang around them and see if it doesn't pick it up for you. So anyway, I love each and every one of you. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the incredible comments. Share this with many people as you can. And again, the question when I put it out, is momentum important? Is catching trends important? Because I know when I've tried and missed it, it was horrible. And when I was in the right place at the right time, it was incredible. So I'm so blessed to be in momentum again. Take care. God bless. Talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.